Alright everyone, if you're just getting to this portion of the video and you didn't watch the last part, I recommend that you go back and watch that. What we're talking about right now is how to spot a fake, so to speak. And all this comes from a section in my report that I've concluded as far as analyzing the Harry S. Truman signature within the Majestic documents, which are highly questionable, which is why we're looking at it. In this particular samples of video that we're doing now, I'm just going over not necessarily the document, but we're comparing signatures and giving you more examples and how to spot the differences. So we're going to go on to number 4. Unnatural strokes or lines that appear to be confusing. I believe we just configured that we just did that in the last video, and basically what I was saying was you know, you as your own person, you have your own way of signing your signature, and if someone else was going to try to copy that, they may not know the correct way in how you actually sign the name. Where do you start the pen? Where do you lift off? All that sort of thing. Most quick fraudulent cases today, people don't really take the time to really look at this sort of thing, and most of the time it's very easy to spot the fake. So we're going to go on to number 5. Wavy or shaky lines also can appear with the auto pen. However, this is usually a sign that the signature was done at a very slow speed. By trying to fake a signature, many people will try and be more careful by taking their time. However, this is evident throughout the signature and can be seen very clearly. Wavy or shaky lines are considered inconsistent with natural speed and fluidity of a real signature. Some people may have a disability or disease which causes their hands or their muscles to shake. They have some kind of disability like that, which may cause their real signatures to look unnatural. But this would be consistent with every other signature that's in their catalog, as the catalog that you would make up. All these signatures that you know that are true. Obviously, if the person has some kind of disability, it would be evident in all of the signatures that they sign, or if it was kind of an oncoming and new condition that they have gotten, or that they've got, then you would see it from that point on. We're going to number 6. The signature is exactly 100% identical to another. This usually means that it is a reprint and not original, or that auto pen was used. Even if the tracing method is used, we can still tell the difference. Tracing will not give you an exact match. If you receive an exact match, the item is probably not fraudulent. However, should not be passed off as an original authentic signature which was signed by hand. So that may have confused you a little bit. If you receive an exact match, meaning the size is the same, the signature is exactly 100% the same as another one, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily fake. It could mean that, but it's most likely an auto pen. For example, auto pens are used for mass producing signatures, and a lot of stars will have a large number of autograph requests, and so they can use an auto pen which will sign just mass amounts of photographs and all, whatever it is, and then they sign those off. So a lot of people have the same signature as somebody else. It's legitimate, and it's probably worth a few bucks, but it's nothing compared to if the artist or the person had signed it by hand. And so this is why this is where the whole fraud thing comes into play, when people are trying to sell you things on the internet, trying to sell you, and they may show you a picture, for example, of an authentic signature that was hand signed, but what you would actually get in the mail would be an auto pen signature. So you got to be really careful, and the difference in the value is a lot of money, depending on what you think a lot of money is. But a standard signature could, with auto pen, could just be worth $5-10 bucks, and if it was authentic, it could be worth, who knows, maybe $100 bucks, $80 bucks. It just depends on what it is and who signed it. So Before looking for these points that I've mentioned, you must compare the item with the catalog. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, then you need to go back and review the last section. Every signature that you write will have differences. This is why comparing the item to one signature is risky in trying to authenticate it. Also, you must realize that many people have one or more ways of signing things depending on what they're signing. It is that wraps it up right there for those points. 5 points, I believe it was, that I covered. Some people have multiple signatures, and it's not uncommon. Some people will sign their checks one way, and they will sign a letter a different way. So it just depends on what they're signing. So it's not unnatural. So you know, one person might have a completely different signature than somebody else, and that's okay. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get on here. So I've if you can remember all the stuff that I've gone through just real quickly, we have one signature here, and then we have the other signature, example 1 and example 2. So we're not going to do anything with this. Don't crop. I'm just trying to highlight it here. So which one looks more fluid to you? Which one looks more natural? You're going to want to look for the fluidity of each signature. Do they look necessarily really shaky? You know, which one looks more unnatural than the other? There's all kinds of things that you have to consider. This one was done with, I will tell you that this was done in just a regular old cheap Bic pen, and you can just see the quality of the ink is you can just see all the little lines and stuff like that. But example 1 or example 2, which one's fake, which one is real? Alright, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, last one. This one is done with felt pen. This one is was done with a Sharpie felt pen, felt tip, and so it is different than the quality of the other one. So we have example 1 and we have example 2. I'll go ahead and reverse the image here, if it will let me. Well, it's being a pain in the butt is what it's doing. I just don't have things prepared. Okay. So example 1 is at the top and example 2 is towards the bottom. One of them is real and one of them is fake. Which one looks more fluid? Which one looks more authentic based on what I've read to you earlier? Is example 1 real or example 2? I'll give you a minute just to kind of look at that. We're going to go to the next part, and so what I would advise you to do is leave your comments in this section of the video on which one you think is real and which one you think is fake. So we'll go to the regular pen real quick. Example 1. Example 2. Unzoom that. Okay, now to the last one before we have to break. Example 1 or example 2. Which one's real, which one is fake? Go ahead and leave your comments if you're willing to play along, and go to the next part to see what the answers are. So, see you in the next part.